with the third sloka that we are chanting. Are you all having the paper with you? Here. The Nirvana Shatakam, we will chant from the third, fourth, and then end fifth, sixth. The beginning third. न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःख्यं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनैव न भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं Dear devotees and friends, today I have a special guest in our lecture, and unexpected, of course. It is very good that he has come. And we were discussing previous class that there are so many varieties of vritti, but it has been classified as painful and not painful. Vrittaya, panchataya, 5 types. Klishta, aklishtaha. And after that, why klishta? Because of the avidya. What are avidya? Avidya means ignorance. What are those avidya? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, avinivesha. We have studied all those. Now it comes slowly explaining one after another word. Then pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, smritaya. Now it is coming in the 6th sloka. Brittaya, Panchatkaya, Klishta and Aklishta. This is the 5th sloka we studied. Now this Klishta and Aklishta doesn't mean so immediately it is painful. Some thought it came and it is so painful. And some thought came, it is so not painful, rather very happy. No, not like that. Some of the thoughts which coming in the beginning is so good, like our desire, like our lust, and that is very good when we enjoy. Afterwards, slowly, we become addicted to this. And we become attached to that. And without receiving that, we become painful. These are the painful thoughts. In the beginning it may be good. Not that the moment we say klishta vritti means something I did in the past and that type of thought is again coming in my mind and I am painful. No, not like that. Klishta vritti means it may be that, or again it is that type of thought which is creating problem for us afterwards. Aklishta, in the beginning when it comes, it is both like the just opposite. When it comes, it may not be that way very pleasant. But slowly, it helps us. Like the japa. When we are doing this japa, the vritti of taking the name of God is coming. In the beginning it is not at all tasteful. 5 minutes if you try, where people are trying, then they will be, 5 minutes. The gurus, they may be asking, can you practice it 108 times? They will be writing, of course, in the Ramakrishna mission, they fill up the form. They will write, yes, I can. Then afterwards, we'll make it 54. So, like that they will be doing. But if you practice the japa, afterwards, this vritti of japa, the moment there is any problem, immediately this vritti is coming and helping you. So that is not painful at all, rather very good. Sometimes when you go to listen to a holy person and then he is discoursing on something, it's not so good. Rather, if you go to listen to somebody else who is very famous in the world and can talk in so wonderful way, it's so nice. But these words of the holy people, afterwards it will help you. So klishta and aklishta, we must be clear in our mind. It doesn't mean that immediate effect will be painful or not painful. Not like that. Immediate effect may be good, may not be good, but if it is klishta vritti, which is attaching us to something, pain will come afterwards, suffering will come afterwards. Aklishta vritti, it will surely help me. So, klishta and aklishtaha, these are the 5 vrittis. Then it comes to, what are that? Pramana, viparjaya, vikalpa, nidra, smritaya. Now, this pramana, this is very, very important. Last class we discussed on this pramana. We read from Swami Vivekananda and how he is explaining about this pramana. So without the pramana, without the evidence, we do not believe. The people mostly they will say, is there God? Can you prove it? Is there evidence of God? Then why you people spending life only just in vain, in search of God? When there is no evidence that He is there, then so many people will be telling. And majority of the people, they believe in that way. Though when they are in trouble, they will go to temple or church or mosque or any holy place. Why? Just to get a separate help. They are trying different places. At the same time, let us also try over here. We do not know, it may click. Like that, it is not complete faith that God is there. So that way we are having, it is not pramana. In Hinduism, this is very, very important. You need not to believe. You need not to depend on anybody's words. You go and get it. You go and see it. You go and realize it yourself. then believe it. So that is the beauty of Hinduism. So pramana is very, very important. And what are the pramana? See, again, this is explaining that this is the beauty of the Hindu Shastras. There will be every word, everything they will be explaining. Pratyaksha, Anuman, Agama. These are the three pramanas. When you are experiencing directly, that is Pratyaksha. I went, I saw, so I know. But even there is a difficulty. One person came and he was shouting, just now I saw a beautiful, wonderful creature. It was white when I first saw. Then again, just before my eyes, it became yellow. It's a very peculiar. Come, I'll show. Another person said, I have already seen it. But you better go to a doctor and have some eye test. Because it is not yellow. It is pure red. You can't differentiate between red and yellow. Then they are divided. Then another person came and said, both of them pratyaksha. Both of them saw directly with their own eyes. But still then there was a mistake. Then third person came and said, Bhai, I live under that tree. Every moment I see that creature, it continuously changes its color differently. So sometimes it is yellow, sometimes it is blue, sometimes white, sometimes red. Both of you are correct. So the pratyaksha also having some difficulty unless and until you realize. So what is pratyaksha? Avadhita jnana. That knowledge what I see or perceive should not change. It should not be badhita. Badhita means changing. I have seen a chair. Oh, when I went to the temple, the shrine, I saw so many small white tables. Were tables? Yes, I saw the tables. But yesterday I went, it's all chair. Is this pratyaksha jnana? No. So this type also sometimes happens. When you go over there, we see it, but not very clearly. So we mix it up and tell to. So pratyaksha jnana means it should not change. Once I have seen, I know what is it. It should not change. So that is why direct perception, I see, I feel, and then I understand, and that my knowledge should also collaborate with others' knowledge. When I go and see and come back and report, and somebody will also go and can see the same thing, not any changes. That's called pratyaksha jnana. Then anumana, inference. We discussed about that anumana. And we know that if this is this, then this will be like this. They say, morning shows the day. In English they usually say. And the morning you will see the black the cloud and you're sure that it's going to rain. So you take the umbrella, go out, no rain at all. Whole day. How the morning is not showing the day. So sometimes anumana means also it's not that immediately it will do. Surely it will do. It may change. But majority of the time, as the classical instance they give, if there is a smoke, there is fire. And usually when there is a fire, there is a human being. So that way you can have an anumana. The pratyaksha, then anumana. All this pramana. One person, one young girl, rough in street, some people, one young man, he started liking that girl and he started telling her, I will marry you. But that fellow was just a gunda. He was not having anything. How that lady can marry him, etc. Nothing. In the meantime, her marriage was settled and everybody knew in the locality. And one day, just before 1 or 2 days before her marriage ceremony, it was noon time, summer time. The street was deserted, no one was nearby. She, for something, crossed the road, went to the shop, purchased something. When she was coming back, this boy came and threw acid on her face. The moment he threw the acid, she lost both the eyes. Now there is a case in the court. And in the court, there is no proof. There is no one can say that I have seen the boy throwing the acid. So ultimately, whole thing was going in favor of the boy, as because there was no evidence, pramana. Now the judge, I have heard this story from the judge himself, and the judge said, I feel there is something wrong, but how to make the proof? Then I asked my Ardali, the attendant, go and ask that lady, because she can't see. Go and ask her, do you know me? Only this question you ask. The peon, that Ardali, he went, attendant, he went and said, lady, do you know me? She heard the word voice and said, no. Then the judge asked the government pleader, the pleader defending the girl, can you go and please ask the same question to her? He also went and asked, lady, do you know me? She heard, no. Then he asked the advocate who was defending the boy, can you please go and ask the same question? He also went and that lady said, no. Then he asked that boy himself, the accused, can you please go and ask this question? He was sure, because she can't see. Now she won't be able to recognize. She went and asked, do you know me? Immediately the girl started shouting, screaming, sir, this is the person who threw acid on me. Because she knew the voice, identifying the voice, just said, this is the boy. And he got punishment. So the pramana, in so many different ways, there is nothing, no camera, no person, nobody is coming, but it is also pramana. How? Anumana. This is Anumana pramana. And everybody present over there, they have heard, they have seen how things are going on. She couldn't recognize and didn't say anything false. But how she could recognize? This Anumana pramana also is a very strong pramana. Then Agama pramana. Agama means aptavakya. Suddenly somebody will come and say, I saw the God, he was sitting on the black cloud. Then I saw God, can you please change the black cloud? It is not very clear. Then he changed to white. That won't do. Only he is saying won't do. His character has to prove. Is it really? And so many people, that mostly devotion is a wonderful force, but mostly it goes in the opposite direction. The devotion not properly channelized is a very, very destructive force. So that is why Swami Vivekananda has written 2 pages on who is called Apta, who can be called as Apta. Realized soul. The person who has realized, then only he can be said as Apta. So this pramana we were discussing, then Apta, Swami Vivekananda said, the character. He must be a man of character. And then the character we quoted from C.N. Washington. And he said, have the courage to say no. Have the courage to face the truth. Do the right thing because it is right. These are the magic keys to living your life with integrity. He is mentioning in a wonderful way. Not that some people will clap and I will get some social recognition, so I will tell the truth. I'm not like that. What you do in any given situation when you cannot be caught or seen. This is very important. Nobody can catch us or can see us, but at the same time, I am doing what I am supposed to do. That is very, very important. It's called character. You have to take satisfaction in the fact that sometimes the only people who will ever know your greatness or good deeds is you and God, and nobody else will know that you have done something good. Honesty means nothing until you are tested. There will be some people mostly in the society, they will be showing that the AIDS children, they should be given love and all that. They will go and they will take the child on their lap, but if camera is on, if they are going to publish in the next day paper and announce, otherwise no child, nothing. So that is not the act of greatness. Greatness is only love, where honesty means nothing until you are tested. Under circumstances where you are sure you could get away with dishonesty. Long back I read a small story. The Second World War was going on. When an aristocrat was arrested by the German, and they were separated, the late wife and the husband, and the lady also, and she was having 2 little kids. So the kids also accompanied the mother in a different prison. Father went somewhere. Every day the mother is to tell the child, you should not behave like this. But others are doing, mommy. Others I don't know. But I have the responsibility to make you grow up so that your father can say, my children, you belong to this family. You must have to follow like this. Don't tell lies. Don't behave like this. Then there was one day they got the egg. 3 of them got 3 eggs. And that was the birthday of the younger one. That she told, now invite your all friends. Kept a bucket of water, washed all those children, because in the prison they're all dirty. And then afterwards, as much possible, decorated. Somehow, from somewhere, she got a candle, kept that candle burnt, then they lighted it, every one of them they sang, and she made that 3 eggs in so many pieces, distributed among those children. The officers, the girls, they were astounded, because when you are in that condition, you forget that you are a human being. For a little morsel of food, they will be fighting like animals, street dogs. But this lady was maintaining. Then the end of the story, the war ended. Then both of them, they came together, husband and the wife. And the moment the husband saw their children, he was so happy. They have grown up as it is, as they would have been if they were. So this is the thing we must have to. Honesty means nothing until you are tested. That is the honesty that you must go. He is telling, but how the character will grow? We go down deep to the root. How the character will grow? They say thought. First is the thought. And from the thought comes the action. And from the action comes the habit. And from the habit, character. So that is the way. Suddenly in the early morning I get up and then splash my face and then go and meditate. Because some people are coming, so I have to show them. Like that. I'm a meditative person, and next day at 10 o'clock somebody is banging at the door. No, that won't do. So the habit, means thought, is the main thing. Am I going to deceive some people? There begins. So those thoughts, you have to be very, very careful. What type of thoughts are cropping inside the mind? Nobody knows what type of thought you are thinking. So that is very important. So from the thoughts comes the action. From the action comes the habit. From the habit comes the character. So these are the things we read. And then what is pramana? Prama, they say, knowledge as it is, that is called pramana. One, this our Misra, he has explained, so he is telling, Abhadita Jnana, it never changes, so this is the Pramana. This Pramana, we discussed, I just mentioned about, that's according to the Charvaka. It's also philosophy, Charvaka philosophy. And he is telling, except the knowledge collected by 5 sense organs, all other knowledges are false. We do not know. Chakshu, Karna, Nashika, Jiva, Tap. These are the 5 senses. We are collecting information, knowledge from this external world. These are the only pramana. Don't think somebody comes and says there is a heaven. What is it? I have not ever visited the heaven. You have not visited the heaven. That was his argument. His argument, only one pramana, direct perception. Otherwise nothing. But Samkhya and Yoga, they say Pratyaksha, Anuman, Agama, as we were discussing. Then the Nyaya says Pratyaksha, Anuman, Agama, then add one, Upaman. What is the Upaman? The knowledge through reference. Upaman, reference. So what is the reference? I saw the animal in the jungle like the horse, but it never runs so fast like horse. Like horse, the moment he says, I saw an animal like horse, immediately we can visualize in our mind what type of animal it is. It's not like a goat, not like an elephant. We know how it is. That's also pramana. So this is their Nyaya, they are telling Nyaya and Vaishashika, this Upamana also Pramana, Pratyaksha, Anuman, Agama and Upamana. Then Vedanta adds one more. Pratyaksha, Anuman, Agama, Upamana. Then another 2. Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi. This is called Vedantas. That's the perception. Pratyaksha, we have discussed. Anuman, we have discussed. Agama, we have discussed. And Upamana also, with reference only. Then comes Arthapatti. Vedanta adds this one, Arthapatti. Artha means meaning. Apatti means objection. Arthapatti. How? There is a very fat man. But no one sees him eating. So they say, Devadatta, Divana Bhunti. Devadatta is the name of the person. Diva na Bhunti. He never eats in the daytime. But how it is possible that he is maintaining that health? That means he must be eating in the night. So we have to lock the fridge. Then we have to see how Devadatta can maintain that health. So daytime he is not eating doesn't mean that he is not eating. This is also pramana. Look at it, how far they go, how subtle way they are thinking. Why all this discussion? Because we are going to realize God, Atman, soul. So you have to be very, very careful about the experience. Is it true? Is it correct? Am I having these? All the things I have to, in your mind you are ready with this knowledge. Then you can understand. Like the doctors, the moment they see a patient, they can understand something wrong with this. Like that only, they will go Anumana, then Upama, like this they will be having. If you go to a doctor, particularly homeopath, they will ask, what about your grandfather? Sir, I have not seen him at all. That's okay, forget him. About your father? Yes, I know to some extent. Whether he used to sneeze, like that they will start. They will have so many questions because Anumana. They will be having the lineage. Then only they will come to a conclusion. They are very thorough. And here also, the moment you go to a doctor, immediately they will say you go and have this taste, like this. Because only I am having little pain in the knee. But they will say, no, there is something wrong in the heart. What is the connection with the knee with the heart? But the doctor knows. This is the how, because of their experiences, their inferences. That way, Vedanta also you have to understand. Pratyaksha, direct perception, and indirect perception, this is the there. And in the direct perception, our Chakshu, Karna, Nashika, Jiva, this is the direct. And then Anubhava, mind also. And the Anubhava, feeling also should be there. Two ladies came, and with one child. And both of them, they were claiming that this is my child. What to do? The king was in a dilemma, how to settle. And both of them were crying and oh, king, please give the child, like this was going on. Everybody was thinking the lady who was beating her head, and that must be the lady like the mother, that is what's going on. King said, tomorrow I will give the judgment. He thought the whole night. Then next day when they came, see one child and two mother, what to do? Now I will cut it to pieces. Exactly, take the measurement of the child, exactly make it two equal half and give the both to this, both the mothers. You know the story. One lady kept silent. Let the child be cut into pieces, then I will take. Another one, she told, king, I don't need this child. You please give the child to her. But please don't kill him. That this is the real mother. So that is the way the pratyaksha means the direct perception. I am hearing, and again she is telling. Back in Andaman, Arunachal Pradesh, one lady came and complained against another gentleman. He is an employee, our employee, and the complaint was very, very dangerous complaint. So I thought that I should remove him from our asrama job. I called him and said, this type of thing. He says, Swamiji, I have not seen this lady at all. Oh, she lives nearby, but I never find, because morning I come out for the job and when I go back, she is somewhere, I never meet her. She is telling the lie. I told this lady cannot tell lies in this way. This must be something else. So you have to be punished. Then I called all the Swamis, they all came over there, and then we heard the lady is telling and the gentleman also. Then after that, all of us decided the lady is the correct and she is telling the truth. He must be removed. This was decided. Then almost in 9 o'clock, his wife, the accused person's wife, came and she told Swamiji, you are the master, whatever you say we have to follow, but give me only one chance. Please bring that lady in your office. Ask her to come to your office. I like to talk to her. I know my husband. I like to talk to her. And she came with some other ladies, and when this lady came and told, hey, come along with me, and there is a Shiva Murti is there, Shiva statue, we'll go over there, and you please place your hand on the Shiva statue and say that you are telling the truth. But I will also keep my hand and say, if you are telling the lies, both your son will die. You know that jungle village, they like this type of things goes. This lady started trembling. No, why should I? No, why should I? Then I doubted. I told her, what is there? You go along with them. She went down out of the office, but never went to the temple. I called her again, called all the Swamis. We had a meeting again on the full bench, and then she said her husband had a fight with this because they are co-workers, and that gentleman told her wife, you go and tell Swamiji in this way so that he gets the punishment. See, the pramana, before giving a decision, is so difficult. To get the truth is so difficult. So this is they say, pratyaksha and anubhava also. You are seeing, you are hearing. but again there is a mistake. So anubhava is essential. This anubhava of a mother, if I go and touch the Shiva and say that I know it is, I am telling the lie. If anything happens to my children, then what will happen? She could not do. Anubhava. And they say, if you have heard the crow cawking, the caw, you know for sure that this is the crow. Because Anumana and Anubhava, this is the thing. Then Vedanta, Pratyaksha, Anuman, Agama, Upaman, Arthapatti. What is this Arthapatti? Artha Apatti. Right this moment he is telling he doesn't take food. This Artha, Devadatta, Devana Bhunte. He doesn't take food in the daytime. But I have an objection into this meaning. That means I go in another step and say, maybe some other time he is eating. Then comes Anupalabdhi. You are not having the realization also pramana. Look at it. You are not having the realization also pramana. Once in Bombay, one of our Swamiji was delivering lecture. Then suddenly one gentleman stood up and said, I don't believe in God. Can you prove here in this hall that God is there? Then Swamiji immediately folded his hand and said, my pranam to at your feet. You are one who have understood God. Then he was taken aback. No. Then the Swamiji said, in this hall, I am sure there is no animal, all human beings are there. There is no cow, there is no dog, there is no horse, there is no elephant in this hall. I know sure for it. Why? Because I have the conception of all these animals. And when you are denying that God is not there, you must be having conception about God. Look at it. This is called Hindu brain. So that is why Swamiji said Vedantic brain and Islamic unity. If it is come together, the problem with the Hindus, they are all separate. They will never be united. And that is the reason all individual but very intelligent, very good type of people, individual. Anyway, that is a different thing. Here, this is the Anupalabdhi, also a pramana. If you say, I don't see God, you must be having some conception about God. But that is also a proof. So up to this we have come. Then it is, as we are telling, this is all these things that I was telling about. Please remember about the pramana. And now comes the Viparjaya. What is that Viparjaya? Mittha Jnanam Atadrupam Pratishtham. Mittha Jnana, false knowledge. But that is also the same knowledge comes to my mind. There is nothing not there. Mittha Jnana. In Vedanta, this is very, very important. Friends, we are studying Vedanta actually. And this Vedanta, according to the Sutra, our Patanjali Yoga-darshan, the Patanjali Yoga-darshan goes with the Shankha. Vedanta also admits Shankha philosophy with some addition and alterations. So here, we must be very, very careful with the beginnings and the first. If somebody comes, sit over here, close your eyes, raise your hand, look, and we are so easy it becomes that we are practicing meditation. The one lady was telling me, Swamiji, I am practicing meditation for 30 years. And when I meditate, sometimes suddenly I go somewhere, I don't remember. When I come back, then I realize I was meditating. I think that is good for your health. You are having a nidra. And that nidra also without any disturbance. That's good. That also is helpful for your health. So this is the we think that I was meditating and she was telling it loudly so that other people also, and all they were craning their neck to see the lady who was meditating for 20 years. Now this is the way, Mithya Jnanam Atadrupam Pratishtam. So this is the Mithya Jnana, false knowledge. Knowledge not established in real nature. Sometimes there will be a rope. This is the classical instances they give always. And we think that it's a snake. The Mithya Jnana. Sometimes some people look so simple, but they are God Himself. Some people came to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, they were talking, suddenly there's a conch shell, the sound was there in the temple, immediately the Brahmana, immediately they took out a little Ganga water, sprinkled, and took out the Japamala. Sitting before Sri Ramakrishna, they started doing japa, closing their eyes. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, why all these things before here? Here. He is God Himself. He is sitting. And what the japa for? To see God. You are seeing God. But the Mithya Jnana, they without realizing that, closing their eyes, they are trying to see God. While God is sitting just before them. So this is very peculiar because they are seeing human. So this is the thing one should understand. But Ramakrishnananda ji, he saw God Himself. Swami Vivekananda, he saw God Himself in that person. He looked so simple. No dress, nothing is there. In the beginning, when the Europe, in America, this movement began, they used to put up to this, the cloth, because they may not like and may think that he is by the side of an ocean taking sunbath. So they used to cover up to him this. And then they never showed the picture of Holy Mother, Ma Sharadamani Devi. Slowly people started coming. So this is the person, so simple. But seeing this picture, Sri Ramakrishna said, this is the highest posture. And he himself worshipped this picture. And Sri Ma Sharadamani, she is telling, looking at this picture means seeing God. So this is the thing that the Mithya Jnana Atadrupam Pratishtam. When you look at this, oh, this is nothing. Rather, there are so many wonderful people that they are very good looking, well dressed. Mithya Jnanam. So this we have to understand. Atadrupam Pratishtam. This then comes the definition of the Viparjaya. Shabda Jnana Anupati. But Vastu Sunya. Shabda Jnana is there. But there is no Vastu, there is no truth. Shabda Jnana Anupati Vastu Shunna Vikalpa. Next it comes the Viparjaya Vikalpa. Pratyaksha Viparjaya Vikalpa. This Vikalpa means we hear some words, but if you go over there, nothing is there. So, like that, this is the Vikalpa means we hear and we don't find anything. Swami Vivekananda says, there is another class of vritti called Vikalpa. If word is uttered, we do not wait to consider its meaning. We jump to a conclusion immediately. It is a sign of weakness of the chitta. Look at it. It is a sign of weakness in the chitta. Some people say, oh, do you know, you go to that place, but those people are like this. Immediately they will think like that. The long back I was a brahmachari. I was attending and I was giving a lecture before the young people, the assembly of young people, Juba Sammelana. And then suddenly one gentleman, very elderly person, got up and said, all these things are all right, wonderful words that you are telling. But you know, in that school of your Ramakrishna mission, they take bribe to admit the student. I was taken aback. What is it? Then I called him, will you please come over here on the dais? Let people also see. You have to take me to that ashrama. It's not very far. Both of us will go, and some of these young people. Then we will meet that man, and they'll ask, has he taken this money in the name of Ramakrishna Mission? And then we will take him to the headquarters and talk about him. Let us see either they give the punishment or not. If it is true, if your words are proved, they will give the punishment, you see. The man may make mistake, but don't blame the organization. Come, we will go. He said, no, it is not me. I cannot recognize that man. And why? Well, I have not seen. And then, how could you give that bribe? No, it's not me. My friend was telling. And your friend means of the same age? Well, yes. Then you are such an elderly person. How his son is getting admission in the class 4? It may not be. Is it his son or his friend's son or some relative's son or anybody? It may be that it is his son, some relative's son, and that means he is also not direct. Another third person. Go searching like this, you will never find a person who has given bribe. But simply you are telling like this. I took this harsh position because so many young people are sitting over there, 200, 300 young people. And this man, he is a respected man. And if he goes and telling like that and go away, all they will start thinking negatively. So Shabda Jnana, that they have taken the bribe, that we know. But Vastu Shunya, who took the bribe? No, nothing is there. But the blame is already there. So that is the way it goes. Majority of the time, we jump into conclusion without knowing anything. Today I have received a message that will you please go and rectify your that so-and-so ashrama. They are hanging this picture in their ashrama. Why like this and that? If you don't like that picture of that personality that is hanging in that ashrama, you could tell them. He is writing to me so that I will also go and tell, what is this? And some, what's called a scientist picture. If we hang a scientist picture, what is there wrong? In the Ramakrishna Mission, it is all knowledge, so different type of people are there. So we respect all these different groups. This man, he has come in conclusion and he is sending messages to everyone. Now it is so easy. You just type one and then praise, and all over the world people receive your message. But Mithya Jnana Vastu Shunya. So we have to be very, very careful. Shabda Jnana Anupati Vastu Shunya. Majority of the people, they are carried away, and that's why their mind is so chanchal, turbulent. If you are interested to make your mind calm, then these are the practices you must have to practice. Swamiji is telling, it is the sign of weakness. Now you can understand the theory of restraint. The weaker the man, the less he has the restraint. Examine yourself always by that taste. Examine yourself always by that taste. When you are going to be angry or miserable, reason it out how it is that some news that has come to you is throwing your mind into vrittis. Look at it. This is called character. The moment you hear something, immediately you are reacting to that. Immediately you are forming some idea within your mind. This is the weakness. First you have to think, who is the person giving me the report? Is it genuine? Then only we will think of it. If it is not genuine, it is not first. Second, he may be telling something, but he or she doesn't know actual background. That's why they may be writing like this, saying like this, sending messages like this, without knowing. So don't come into conclusion like this way. So this is the another thing. Ultimately we come to Abhav pratyaya avalambana vritti nidra. Abhav pratyaya avalambana vritti nidra. Even the nidra also having the quality to prove. This is the analysis of the Hindu minds. How wonderfully everything they have analyzed. This our Patanjali Yoga Darshan is not an ordinary thing. Just somebody is writing such a big volume. If you like to realize God, read my books. Go and ask him, have you realized God? No, not me. Not even my grandfather also. But I have written a book. So this type of people, majority of these people, they will have the thousands of copies they are selling out, will be bestseller and all these things. But they do not know. Why? They have not realized. Simply they are writing like this. So when we are studying this type of Shastra Grantha, we have to be very, very careful. And there is no flourishing languages, the wonderful words, jugglery of words, nothing like that. Very clear, clean thing. If you are a true student, if you are really interested to make your mind calm, then you are welcome to this type of Shastras. Shabda Jnana Anupati Vastu Shunna Vikalpaha, and then comes Abhava Pratyaya Avalambana Vritti. Dreamless sleep is not an absence of thought wave. When we are not seeing anything, even not the dream, in the sleep, if this is not science, then what is science? They say religion means faith, belief. Is this? How they have judged even when you are sleeping, what happens in the mind? When you are awake again, what type of reaction is there in the mind? That they are noting. This is the temperament of the scientist. Only scientists can do this. Otherwise, how? There's a dreamless sleep is also not an absence of thought wave, but an experience of nothingness. When I get from the sleep, I wake up and I say, yesterday night I had a wonderful sleep, and in the sleep I didn't see any dream also. How could you know? How could you know that you didn't dream? Who is this that's experiencing that he or she is not having the dream? So that is also pramana. Swamiji is telling, the next class of vrittis is called sleep. When we awake, we know that we have been sleeping. We can only have memory of perception. That which we do not perceive, we never can have in the memory. Every reaction is a wave in the lake. Now, if during sleep the mind had no waves, it would have no perceptions, positive or negative, and therefore we would not remember them. The very reason of our remembering sleep is that during sleep there was a certain class of waves in the mind. Memory is another class of vrittis which is called smriti. This is the smriti. Again it will come in our next class, but the next class may come a little late because the next Sunday I will go to Atlanta. I have accepted these invitations because I want to meet some of the people and tell them about our grand functions that we are going to have in the October and November. Many of you, I think most of you know, then 6th October, there is a Sunday. Again, that 6th October also, another Swami is coming from Portland, Swami Shantarupanandaji. He will be giving a special discourse over here. All the Sundays of the September dedicated to Swami Vivekananda. So the Swamis coming from different places, they will be speaking on different aspects of Swami Vivekananda every Sunday. And our mothers group, the lady devotees, and I think happily they have announced that they will be given prasad every Sunday after the lecture, because this is special, don't expect today. It will be in the next, from the September, it will be there, because it is dedicated to Swamiji, and it will be like this only. It will go. Whole September you won't have the class. Coming 24th August I will be at Atlanta, so I won't be able to take this class, give this class, and then next September, all the Septembers are dedicated. In the last September, there will be, the last week of the September will be special retreat at Ganges, and then October fast, Sunday, 6th, that Swami Shantarupanandaji Maharaj will come. 5th will be our fundraising dinner, 6th will be the special lecture, and 6th noon, 2:30 to 5:30, there will be a special program at Rockefeller Chapel. Rockefeller Chapel, they have agreed, they will do it, and of their own they have invited. This is unique. You all please come on that day. So we will meet again, I think, after 1.5 months. So now the home task. As we are studying, so they must have home task. Home task is, we must remember all the 12 the slokas, the aphorisms of the Patanjali. From Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, Atha Yoganushashanam is the first one, then second, then up to 12. If you can remember, it will be very good. Now let us come and recite the sloka and complete. 5th and 6th sloka. 5th and 6th last. Na mrittu na shanka, na me jati bheda, pita naiva me naiva, mata na janma, na bandhu na mitra, guru naiva shishya, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. All these slokas, it is negative, negative, negative. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Neti, neti, neti. Only last Shidananda. This sloka he says, Aham nirvikalpo, nirakara rupa, vibhutvacha sarvatra, sarvendriyanam, navasangatam, naiva muktir namiya, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ram